and at different magazines as well. It was petrifying. I was really shy, quite introverted, and I did find it quite difficult, and I felt like I really was throwing myself into this deep end where I just, you know, I found it really sort of quite intimidating, but I really sort of like stuck to it, and then no job came up, so I went into beauty PR, and it's sort of where I fell in love with the beauty industry, and thank God I went into the beauty PR world, because I probably would have ended up in as a fashion stylist, and I actually really do prefer beauty. And also working on the other side just meant that I know everything about how clients work and about marketing, the advertising, and you know, and how the PR world works. So it sort of gave me that opportunity to then go into the magazine world with a completely different perspective. And then I got offered a job somewhere where I worked really hard as a beauty intern. And I became a beauty writer at More magazine, and I was there for about 4.5 years. And I knew that Marie Claire was my dream magazine. I just absolutely loved it, and I worked my way up. I moved to InStyle, and then I've been at Marie Claire now for about 4.5 years. So, but I've worked very, very hard, and I really have sort of taken myself out of my comfort zone in every single situation, and I forced myself to, you know, run around London Fashion Week, New York, Milan, Paris, and meet all of these different people, all the experts.
Sounds really harrowing.
Models, and you know, I've been interviewing celebrities. I interviewed Madonna a couple of weeks ago, and you know, all of these really big celebs. But I've been absolutely petrified for the whole way, and I really tried to change my mindset, and I tried to make myself more excited about these situations than nervous. So it's sort of, you know, oh my God, it's going to be amazing interview Madonna, and actually I'm really petrified and shaking. But yeah, so it's been tricky. It's been very tough, very challenging, and it is a very, very competitive industry to be part of. But whereas 10 years ago, I think it was much more competitive. Now, I find that there's much more of a sisterhood feel in my industry, and people are sort of not elbowing you out the way to get to the top, and most people are just very sort of motivating and sort of pushing each other, which I don't think really happened 10 years ago. It's definitely changed. I'm sure it's to do with the recession or whatever, but I'm really sort of trying to help my team and try to sort of, you know, motivate them and get them to where they want to be as well. So
that's awesome. Okay, so more questions. So has there been a point in your career where you thought, I'm not going to do this anymore, and you thought about changing? Have you always just had the same goal?
I've always been really focused in what I've wanted to do, and I think that's really helped me get to Marie Claire. Marie Claire has 25 pages of beauty a month, and no other magazine has that, so that's why I really wanted to get to where I am. And a big part of my job is to style the shoots, and I've sort of been very focused in that, but I've also wanted to do other things, and luckily, because I have always been a very hard worker, I've had the opportunity to do lots of freelance things on the side. So, you know, I style music videos and bands, and I write trend reports for different companies, and I write newspapers, and I freelance for like The Guardian and The Times, and so I'm very lucky that I can do all of that outside of my job. So I've always wanted to do that, yeah, I've always wanted to stay.
That's really great. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to maybe create a profile in the press, like for example, in the magazine or on online
It's much
website?
easier now because of social media and blogs. When I was starting out, I just didn't have an outlet for any creativity at all, so I would do my test shoots, or you know, I'd send feature pictures to different newspapers, and you know, sometimes they'd get picked up and most of the time they didn't. So that was the only way that I could get my creativity out there. But now with blogs and with Facebook and with starting up your own websites, you know, it's much easier. And with tweeting, as you were saying just now, and Facebook again, you can really build up your profile. And I think that's, if you wanted to well, be a journalist or test beauty products or any of that side of things, you can just set up this blog now and you know, build up your profile that way. So.
And also, this is a bit of a personal question. Can you explain the importance of bloggers now in today's media? Because I think that's been a massive wave, and like every single one of us here could create a blog and in some ways have the same rights as a journalist at an event. Can you explain the change in bloggers?
I write a lot for my website. Our website at Marie Claire is humongous, it's massive, and I think it's the biggest glossy in the market. So me writing for the website is massively important, and I write my own blogs, my own articles, and people follow my blogs, or especially my team. Jess is really into her fitness and personal training and her weight loss, and so people sort of relate to her. They follow her because they feel like she's their friend now. So it's massively important for us as journalists to have our profile and build it, and for people to know who we are and what makes us tick. And you know, we're treating all the people that follow our blogs and articles as friends. So in terms of blogging in the beauty industry, there are some amazing bloggers out there, and it's great to have a real person's advice and knowledge, as opposed to, I don't know, reading features in a magazine where it's a little bit, it's more authoritative, but it's, I don't know whether it's as personal or as personable. So reading people's blogs is massively important because again, you feel like you get to know them. But I mean, things like Tumblr and creating all of these picture mood boards and all of the picture references and size of things, I feel like is very important to me, building my career and helping me along with my shoots and stuff like that. But I mean, it's massively important to blog. If you,
Okay, and I'm going to open up questions.